Hi again everyone, Scott Pye, Popcorn Fan here, and in this video, I have a bit of a poltergeist in my house. Who am I gonna call? I need to call the Ghostbusters! The Ghostbusters. Yeah, I have a bit of a situation in my place. Flying Kleenex boxes. Yeah, Ghostbusters, can I get them to come over, please? Thank you! Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Hello, Ghostbusters. I need some help. Please? Pretty please? Ah! So, in this video, as you guys can tell, I'm going to be reviewing the newest Ghostbusters movie that came out last year. I never got a chance to see that movie in theaters, and I just recently, I bought it on my Prime account, and it was cheap. It was only $10. So I watched it, and before I watched Ghostbusters Afterlife, I actually rewatched the first two movies in preparation. So, what I have to say about this new movie, Ghostbusters Afterlife, is that I think it does a really good job continuing the story of like the returning characters from the first two films, but at the same time focusing primarily on the newer characters. And I think McKenna Grace as Phoebe, she steals the show. She's really good in this movie. She's basically the lead role in this film, along with her older brother, who we all know from Stranger Things, and her mom, and Paul Rudd's character, who is a teacher. And it's just Paul Rudd. If you ask me, I think he's perfect for a movie like this. Just with his charisma and, from his experience with the Ant-Man films, just a lot of that same kind of energy of his personality, just his presence, I think works perfectly with a Ghostbusters film. And this movie was really satisfying. Like, one thing I wasn't expecting with this movie was how, like, the main threat, it's the same threat that was in the first film. That I didn't expect. But, for those of you that have been a fan of the Ghostbusters franchise, with the first two films at least, because I know that there was a 2016, like, female cast of Ghostbusters, and I remember seeing that, and I remember enjoying it, but not liking it that much. But I think this is definitely a more worthy sequel to the original film than either the second film or the 2016 film, if you ask me, because we get the returning cast, and like the movies I've done reviews for before on my channel, like Halloween 2018, Terminator Dark Fate, and the movie I reviewed yesterday, the new Texas Chainsaw film, this is another example of a legacy sequel slash requel, like what they were saying in the Scream movie. It's another movie like that, and I think Ghostbusters Afterlife is one of the better examples of that, where it focuses on the new main cast, and the character of Phoebe, I think, is the most fleshed out character in this film. And seeing her like unravel the mystery of who her grandfather is in this film, it was rather interesting. I liked how this movie opened. It almost opens like a horror film, which I like. This movie definitely has more of a serious tone than the first two films, but at the same time still having that same level of humor that you come to expect of Ghostbusters. And it's just a perfect mix of horror and suspense, but also with a certain level of humor that I definitely really enjoyed, especially those little Marshmallow Man things. I mean, they're in the trailer for the movie, so that's not a spoiler, but those little marshmallow ghosts that appear in the store, taunting Paul Rudd, I love that scene. That's a perfect example of the humor and how well it worked in this film. I thought that was great, and I thought the music was really good. I think the director, who actually, speaking of the director, he's Ivan Reitman's son. So the original director which, by the way, I heard he passed away. Rest in peace. Ivan Reitman, the original director of Ghostbusters. You'll be sorely missed, and your son did a great job honoring the legacy of Ghostbusters with this new film that came out last year. And also, I just think that all around, the cast in this film is really good, and the main threat, like I said, it's the same threat from the first film. And one thing that I was wondering about with this film was whether or not it was going to also reference the events of the second film, and it does, but not as much as you'd expect. But it does still continue the story of the first two films, but ignores the events of the 2016 film. So it's a really good film. I don't have any flaws with it, really. There's this one moment at the end which made me think of a few other films. There's like this one scene that just makes me think of Harry Potter, but it also makes me think of Star Wars. If you guys have seen this movie, you'll know which scene I'm talking about. It's nearly ends, like in the third act, between the main threat and the lead character Phoebe. There's this one like battle sequence that it feels a lot like a scene straight out of Deathly Hallows Part 2 and and the most recent Star Wars film, Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. There's a scene in this film that's a lot like those scenes in Harry Potter and Star Wars, which I thought was rather interesting. And it's just overall, it's a really good film. It's, like I said, one of the better examples of a legacy sequel. And just seeing the returning cast, Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Harold Ramis, and even Annie Potts, who, speaking of Annie Potts, I learned, she was a lot younger in those older films, but I know her from other stuff. Like, I see her on Young Sheldon as Sheldon's grandmother, so it was cool to see her in this film. And it's just overall a very enjoyable film from beginning to end, while at the same time having a lot of heartfelt moments, especially in the end. It was very satisfying for someone who marathoned the first two films before this new one, and it was just a lot of fun. I give this new movie, Ghostbusters Afterlife, an A. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you all in the next video. Peace.